5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Maybe follow up back on that line of questioning. I visited the recycling facility in Le Hague in France, and they told us there that the cost of the recycling was very expensive and would require substantial subsidization if we were to embark on that. It's costing the French government quite a bit of money to do that, but I know the technology is there, but it's very, very expensive to do that. So thank you for that. But I also just want to congratulate our chairman on this. I'm a Scotch-Irishman, so we're pretty stubborn on some things, but I thought this guy's even more stubborn than I am, because he has endured this for the last 6 years that I've been in Congress. Pressure. He's wanted to talk about this. He's wanted to be able to move this and advance this ball down the pike, but because of the previous administration, we weren't able to do it. And I admire the chairman for his not blinking, because if nothing else, he's been able to educate a whole new group of congressmen that have come in since in the last 6 years to understand the merits of this program. So I really do admire him for being able to do that, because, you know, we know facts are stubborn things. And I think we're going to follow the science as we go down through this. So, Mr. Sprode, if I could ask a question that, as you just, my comments, that our country lost a substantial amount of time in getting this, getting the license decision on Yucca Mountain after the administration shut the program down. Some opponents of the Yucca Mountain project suggest it'll be too time-consuming or costly to resume this licensing process. Do you agree with that? Based on your experience, would you expect it to be cheaper to continue, or we start all over again?
Well, the way I view it, Congressman, is we have a 35-year plus investment in this process that the Nuclear Waste Policy Act laid out and specified how this whole process was to evolve. And we're now within 3 or 4 years of concluding it. And when I talk about that, I mean getting a final decision from the Nuclear Regulatory Commission on the acceptability of the Yucca Mountain site and design. There's no way I would believe that that's going to be more expensive than starting over again at this stage of the game. I can't be convinced of that.
Won't we, in this process, if we advance this, if there are questions, isn't that the purpose of the licensing decision process, to find out, to ferret out any issue that we need to address? Isn't that what this is all about?
It absolutely is. And the license application for Yucca were in 3-ring binders about this wide, and the 5 safety evaluation reports that the Nuclear Regulatory Commission staff issued, where they evaluated the design, is probably about this big. So in terms of the amount of time and effort spent by some people a lot smarter than me, who figured out and evaluated all the technical issues associated with the repository, that's a huge investment, and I believe is worth a final determination by the NRC of whether or not to move forward or not.
Just to finish it now, so Mr. Donald, do you believe it would be cheaper and quicker to complete the licensing process and follow where the science leads us, or the issues, or do you think we should start all over again?
Congressman, I appreciate the question. Clearly, I don't think we should start over again. The ratepayers in this country have already made a substantial investment, $40 billion, for this process to continue. And as a commissioner, and regulatory commissions across this country, all 50 states, the District of Columbia, and the territories, that's what we do. We get presented with an application. We take a look at that application and allow it to have the due process and make that decision on the merits of that case. That's what we do day in and day out. That's how our system works. And yet, in this particular process, where the ratepayers have paid $40 billion, that due process is being denied because the application is not allowed to go forward through a merit-based evaluation. And that should stop. We should not restart this process. Thank you.
Mr. Nesbitt, the same question to you. Your thoughts?
I do not think there is any way it would be quicker, faster, cheaper to start over and start looking around for another site. Not on this planet, sir.
Okay. I'm just thinking from a common sense thing, finish the job, find out what the facts are. The facts will lead us to the final decision, and I don't think we should be intimidated, and I hope we stay with the science rather than let politics come into play. Let the science lead us, get the decisions, and then we can make a decision. If it leads properly, that's fine. Thank you. I yield back my time.
Spoken like a true